Welcome back to the official Atari Games podcast. This is Jason here, and we're about to have some fun. I mean, we always have fun, let's be real. But this one in particular, we're gonna have some silly times ahead because I'm joined by three lovely gentlemen. Joining me today are Audi Sorlie, producer on Bubsy in the Purrfect Collection. Audi, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Pretty good. Pretty happy to be here. And thank you for actually reading out the title correctly, because this will be my first little trivia. When we started this project, you guys did not want to call it Bubsy In, which I was like, no, all the titles in Bubsy should have in it. So I won.
Okay, congratulations. Also joining us from, audience from Limited Run Games. Also joining us is Joe. Oh man, I didn't ask you for the pronunciation check. Modzeleski.
That's actually really close.
Oh, okay.
Modzeleski. The Z is like a G or a J.
All right, not how it's written, but we'll roll with it. Modzeleski, development director on Bubsy in the. This is actually the correct way to pronounce it. The Purrfect Collection.
See, I wanted to call this Bubsy's Museum of Mediocre Video Game Products.
Oh, okay. Well,
Audi was not a fan of that title.
So that's actually a true story. He's not making that up. That was a real suggestion. I was like, we can't sell a product that's called this.
I pushed it for a while.
Joe, remember what my initial working title for this was? It was like Bubsy meets O.J. Simpson.
Yeah.
Good title.
Wow. All right. Also joining us is Sam Brown, release manager here at Atari and number one Bubsy fan here at Atari. Welcome, Sam.
Sure. Oh God, I'm gone.
Oh,
you saw it for a second.
Yeah, we saw it for a second. We got the ears.
It's out there.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Yeah. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Welcome, Sam. How's it going?
It's good. It's great. I am excited to talk about Bubsy.
What was your rejected title idea for this game?
I don't know if I had one. I was just going back and forth on the ones that you guys proposed.
Is it too late to change it? Can we go back to mine?
No,
I think it's fine, right?
Technically,
Make it official.
I don't know. Have you printed boxes yet?
No.
They can be reprinted, or we can just put sticky notes on them.
I'm going to say no on the OJ title. I'm going to say maybe on the museum title.
Yeah.
But I kind of
Meowseum.
Yeah, but I feel like we should stick with what we got. It's cool. It's cute. It's good. It's
snappy.
Funny.
Marketing people, they love it.
It's memorable.
The cash will just flow with that title.
Puns are great for SEO.
They're great for SEO. Yeah. No doubt. So we're going to talk all about Bubsy in the Purrfect Collection. And but before we get into that, just a little bit of housekeeping. First of all, review the podcast. That helps. The algorithm helps more people find the podcast, and it gets feedback to me who looks at those reviews. So please review us. Be honest, and even if you're going to say negative things, please give us 5 stars anyway. Join the Atari Club Discord. That is in the link below. Talk about this title along with a lot of other Atari releases and things happening in the world, because there's a lot of that happening. Is there a limited run Discord?
Sure is.
There is.
I'm lurking in there.
Join that. I'll get that link. You can see that in the description as well. Join that. Say how much you appreciate all the work they're doing, especially on this title. Because it's, how else are you going to play Bubsy 3D on modern hardware? You can't until now. But we'll get into that later. Wishlist the title. That link's below. And also, look out for Atari coming to an event near you if you live in the Cologne, Germany area or the Seattle area for PAX. That's it, because boy, we'll be at Evo. That would be in the past, but it's in the future from when we're recording this. Oh boy. Let's move on. So, fellas, let's jump in. Let's start talking about this game. I'm ready to start talking about it. I just need a timestamp.
Yeah, I have something to say right off the bat. Can the viewers at this timestamp, at this point, can they see the footage that you, or will they only be seeing us?
They will see the footage right now.
Okay. Because
here we go.
Bubsy is right there, and he's been staring into my soul this entire time you've been talking. And anytime that you can press A to start and get him out of there.
It's such a nice
It looks-
title screen, though.
Dude, that is a great art. That is by Item Bryce, and I
Yes.
love that art. Like that was, when it came to kind of creating how like the software they out like just the whole look of the software. Bubsy's model was something that like I'm fairly sensitive to, just being a longtime fan, and this was like basically first attempt from Adam. Like he just nailed it, and I really like. There's a magic to how Bubsy should look. There's a kind of like confidence as well as sense of humor or like self. I don't know how to explain it, but there's sort of like a specific way Bubsy needs to look that's not too edgy,
Like
and
this.
not too fourth wall breaking. And
You should look like this. So I'm looking at the Bubsy 3.
Yeah,
You
well,
should look like this.
alright.
You, should
You just
look-
want to go straight there, don't you?
No, I'm going to tease that to get there later.
I'm
But-
trying to class up this joint and just we can go straight to Bubsy 3.
Well, wait. We can actually start if you want to talk about the some of the iterations of how he
Yeah, see
looks.
him.
Yeah.
We can start with that because while we're talking about the design, you talk about the look. Where'd be a good place to go to? Official art here.
I mean,
Official
you go
art,
to
yeah,
official
have a look
arts.
at
You can
the-
see this is this is one of the earliest concepts done by Ken Macklin, who we actually interviewed for this collection. So there's a video with him. He was the official character designer for Bubsy, and most of this art was done by Ken, and Ken kind of defined the official look for him. This is also Ken here. You can see his signature there in the picture there.
I love this art of him with the gun.
Yeah, I mean, so Ken.
It's actually a
worked-
Nerf blaster. That's the official way.
Well, no, it's for
Yeah.
copyright.
It is,
reasons.
For copyright reasons, not in this
What are you
collection.
doing?
It's not.
Sorry, this is not a.
Timestamp this, beep it.
It's a blurf blaster.
So
Actually.
I actually edited out all the mentions of anything copyrighted from these, so they aren't 100% accurate, but I did do my best to redraw those sections. Yeah, so the art through Ken is kind of what defines the look of Bubsy.
What's happening here?
That is just some good old medieval fashion.
Very nice lady.
Yeah,
Okay, all right, got it. I like this.
and there's
Yeah.
different artists that worked on it.
Steam
So
Bubs.
Bubsy 2, and then Bubsy. So funny enough, in the interview with Ken, I asked him about the Atari game because he did that key art, and he was like, "I never worked on this," and I couldn't tell if he was just like, "I never worked on anything Jaguar, man," or if he
Well,
literally.
because the actual art of him on there, that's just repurposed from the second one, right?
Yeah. So
And then I don't know
that's
about
why.
all the new characters around it.
But in the interviews that we did one with Farron Thomason, who he was a designer of the Jaguar game. He specifically mentions that he worked with Ken to do art. So there's a little bit of like, I think one has just forgotten and the other remembers. So
I think obviously.
Yeah.
and this is a great.
was
This is
that it was
Atari
getting a
alumni.
chance
He worked
to
at
actually
Atari
produce
back in the
video game.
90s.
That was awesome.
Still around. Still makes
got to
Atari
travel
games.
to the UK,
Wonderful
got to work with
person.
a team
Just
of
an
talented
excellent person.
developers,
Great
got to work
stories.
with,
Great sense of
a
humor.
very popular
And
brand
I was really happy that we got to
and the
talk to
ability
him.
manage that whole
And
process.
still has a lot of passion for the Atari Jaguar, being
Love it.
the
What was that?
architect.
What was
So
the
what was-
box he had on the left hand side?
There was a
of the
VHS clamshell box. Yeah, I was
Yes,
gonna say, what was that? Is it a recording
Yeah,
of the
head,
pilot?
head
or?
back to that special Penny Memories.
It's,
I mean, it's probably all at the same table.
Oh,
right?
it's probably
Yeah,
an old,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Actually,
Yeah,
there's a good
Yeah,
one.
what is
in
that?
the UK,
Yeah,
in
so
a
that
small
looks like
town
it's a
called
rental,
Dewsbury,
like it's a repurposed.
Oh, I see.
So it's probably print out or something, because it says new arrival on it. I actually
Oh,
have
yeah.
B-roll where he sets up the table where there's a close-up of it, so I could look at that again. But I don't think it's anything official from Accolade. I think that's something
Yeah.
cooked up for like a rental shop. And somehow
It looks like the Disney VHS box.
Yeah,
it does,
yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
just repurposed from that. So. And then there's the Atari Lynx game there as well, which is some tennis player.
Are you saying like repurposed just for the sake of like putting together a prop for this table, or do you think this was repurposed
No.
for an actual rental shop?
Like
to
in
rent
the
out
rental
pilot?
store?
Yes, in the actual rental store. I'm pretty sure
So,
this.
so
this
they,
was,
they would have had to just record it off of TV. They wouldn't have gotten it from Accolade.
well, they could have scanned it. I mean, or like copy scanned it, like the front.
so that we could communicate.
No, I mean the pilot itself.
Oh, I don't know if I think the Genesis game would have been inside of that.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't think
weird.
the pilot
They didn't
itself.
have the box, so
Yeah,
they
I've
just
never-
used
I've never
VHS
seen
Or just a
that
better
before.
case, because the original Bubsy was not officially licensed by Sega at first, and came in a cardboard box, much like other Accolade games. So that wouldn't have been very useful on a rental shelf. It would have broken very easily, and so they might have just kind of repurposed a Disney VHS to make sure that it stays a little bit more presentable.
Got it. Well, I think it's time we jump to a game. Tell me first, should I jump into which version of the game should I jump into?
So you should go to the Super Nintendo version, or the Super version of the first game, which was the original target. So this is the game that they started working on when they made Bubsy. So this is kind of the official version of this game.
That's actually one of the most interesting things about this game is, that it is as much of a direct port as possible from Super Nintendo to Genesis or Mega Drive.
Yeah.
Because a lot of games back then, you were really just kind of building something very bespoke for each piece of hardware. But this, there's some interesting differences between the two versions because it's very much just trying to be a direct port.
It actually is also, if you look at other games, especially of the US variety, US developed games, example, this is one of Joe's favorite games of all time. It's Batman Forever on the 16-bits. And that one, if you play on Super Nintendo, has load times and whatnot. On the Genesis, it does not. So it's the same game, but there are substantial differences in terms of color palette, presentation, things like this, even controls. Bubsy is one of the examples of a very accurate one-to-one port between the Super Nintendo and the Mega version. So it is technically a very interesting game. Though you don't see the differences much, though, which makes it less interesting maybe for a casual person.
You kind of have to know what you're looking for. If you're familiar enough that you kind of know the resolution differences and aspect ratio differences of Super Nintendo versus Genesis, you'll tell right away.
Yeah.
But if you don't really know what you're looking for, they're very similar.
Which in itself, for us, is super interesting. If you watch Digital Foundry or My Life in Gaming and whatnot, you're probably in that audience as well.
So, Audi, I gotta ask, because you have an unironic love of Bubsy, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
As we all should.
All right. Well, let's not go that far. So, what's the origin of that? What got you into Bubsy originally that sparked this love and passion?
Yeah. So, for me, it was very much. So I grew up in Europe. I grew up in a really small city in Northern Europe, of less than 100 people. And so when I was a kid, this idea of these larger-than-life characters, extended to movies and such too, like Arnold, Van Damme, all these kind of larger-than-life heroes, Hulk Hogan, the recently passed, that kind of, colorful persona, to me was just incredible. I couldn't because in my daily life I couldn't even imagine something like this. And when it came to video games, I just grew very much towards this idea of these avatars that had this type of personality, kind of breaking out and talking to me through these games and these adventures. And prior to Bubsy, I was playing stuff on the Amiga. So you had Gianni Sisters, and you had Oscar, and these kind of platform mascots that very much a derivative of certain blue animals that ran fast and whatnot, but not much more to them. And when Bubsy, I saw it in EGM in the February issue. When I saw him and read about it and saw the screenshots, there was just something to his design that spoke to me immediately, because it was the first time I'd seen a video game and a video game character that looked directly at me, referred to me basically, and kind of invited me into that video game world in a completely different way than I was used to. So yeah, I mean, I got the game for Christmas that year. I begged for it. I never wanted the game more. And when I got it, I was absolutely... I came from a background of playing games, like I mentioned on the Amiga, where exploration and kind of more open-ended platformers. Joe will probably have a different word for that. But open-ended platformers with, that's not necessarily the most responsive or reflective. Reflexes aren't always what we needed on those games. Also luck. But for me, that was kind of natural. I was kind of in tune with that. So I was so happy that, here was this character that really allowed me to step into a video game world in a completely different way. And I think that's, in general, when we recently did the game Gex, the Gex trilogy. And I think that's a similar thing, especially for Europeans. I think this is, for Americans, it's kind of hard to imagine this, but being that English is often our second language or third, this idea of these avatars being kind of like holding our hands in these adventures is very important to us. And I think that's why we gravitated and connected with them in that way. So that's a long answer to.
That's a great answer. That's awesome.
Yeah. So
Joe, as someone with equal reverence of the franchise, same question.
I also have childhood, deeply impactful childhood memories of Bubsy. I played Bubsy on the Sega Genesis after playing many other platformers, and I did not like it. And I did not want to play any more of it. I have only started to come to find any interest in Bubsy in my adult years through my extension to Audi. However, my Bubsy story is for Bubsy 3D.
We'll get there.
And we'll get to that game. But my childhood memory is really more Bubsy 3D, and it was being stuck in a house in the middle of the woods with no TV, no channels, no kids to play with in the area, no neighbors. I had a PS1 and a copy of Bubsy 3D for the whole weekend. And that was the first time I ever felt or learned that, hey, maybe video games can actually be something I don't want to do.
You don't want to play video games? Was your childhood directed by Sam Raimi?
And this was in a situation where literally it was all I had to do. I was at my mom, her boyfriend at the time, so there was nothing there for me to play with, no movies I could watch. I had one choice to pass time, and it was to play Bubsy 3D, and I will never forget that weekend.
See, it meant something to you.
It meant something
to
me,
yes. In some ways.
One might say it defined the darker parts of my soul, but
yeah.
And here we are, full circle.
Yeah.
Being tasked with putting together a package that presents Bubsy in the greatest light possible.
All right, Sam, as unironically Bubsy fan number one at Atari, what about you? What is your earliest interaction with Bubsy that made you fall in love or loathe this man?
So I mean, I'm a little different in that I'm pretty sure my first exposure to Bubsy was the rise of YouTube and all of that, with videos that would make fun of it, point out all the flaws, all the Bubsy 3D videos, and then learning how emulators and all that work, and then playing all these games for myself, and then realizing, oh, you know what, this is fine. It's not the worst thing I've ever played. But yeah, just with that, it's always been there. It's always been in the conversation of video games, whether it's good or bad or whatever. But it's always just been around, and I've been a fan, either ironically or unironically. I'm not sure at this point. I think unironically at this point. But even with Bubsy 3D, it's very easy to play it and just be like, oh, like they were like trying to do something here. Like,
Yeah, we'll get to
just
that.
like understanding the history of it, of it being like one of the first 3D platformers. You play it for yourself, and you realize like, oh, I see what they were doing. This is fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna alternate. I'm gonna go to Bubsy 2 now, but I'm gonna go to the gens first.
Should also point out from our end, the UI was done by Jesse Augustine, who we love working with. So.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, that's like when you press the thumbsticks here, and you got these various options. I do want to talk about
Put
that,
on a
Joe.
border.
Maybe it's worth. Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Border. Look at that. It's
Yeah,
it's your man,
yeah.
Joe. He's back.
Here he is.
What is? It's just for you. Because this question's for you. What is? How is the carbon engine being used in this game? I think it's important to say like.
We
what
didn't use
it is
it at
that-
all.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, we didn't
We
use it.
didn't use
No.
that.
So
Oh,
for people
interesting.
who are unfamiliar,
Um,
the Carbon Engine is our internal game development environment that we use to make our retro game collections. It's what we use to kind of interface a variety of different emulators with modern hardware, set up these packages with front ends and bonus materials and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, like we used it much in the way we use it with things like Gex Trilogy. Audi mentioned that recently came out. That was the first Carbon Engine release that used PS1. It's great though. We use a lot of these tools that we've developed in this environment to help kind of
No, Tomba was
debug
the
and
first.
adjust and hack some of these games, which we're going to get to very shortly when we start talking about Bubsy 3D, because there was a lot that kind of went into that.
Wait, was Gex the first or was Tomba the first one we did? PS1?
Tomba,
Yeah.
man, Gex is so burned into my mind
Right?
from this
Yeah,
past
like,
year.
I was starting to question it too when you mentioned. I was like, hold on, wait. You
No,
might be
it's
right,
Tomba.
but no, it's Tomba. Yeah.
What? And I mean, Audie, when talking about the difference, like between, so when you were all about Bubsy back in the day, you started with the first
Still
game.
am.
Still are. But what is it about? Like, so do you have a personal favorite in the classics?
So yeah, and the
Personal.
classics, personal. Yeah. So I think the first game is, I would say it ranges from pretty good to great. I think it's a very good, competent platformer. It's really fun, especially once you start exploring all the different upper ground paths, lower ground. There's a lot to. There is a method to the madness of Bubsy that gets kind of lost in the sequel, Bubsy 2. I don't think that really holds up.
Yeah, you
as
noticing
well
any
as first game.
differences having just played the first one and going right to the second one?
Yeah, it's chaotic. I can't, like, the controls are.
So in this
there's
case,
weird
it's
stuff
just
going
kind of whimsical for the sake of. And this was, it's easy to point at Bubsy 2 and
That's a
say
door
like,
you could enter up there.
I know. I'm
Got a
trying.
mouth?
Oh wait, I could go
it's
back.
very, it's very interactive though. Like a lot of
The
elements.
feature of
on
the
screen.
Carbon Engine.
Okay.
The rewind.
I gotta tell you, one of Audie's favorite things to do about Bubsy when you do start to point out some of its flaws, he goes, "But it's very interactive."
Yeah, I mean you interact with them.
Yeah,
But-
you can interact with it.
But
Yeah.
the thing about
Go
Bubsy
in that thing's
2 that I
mouth.
think, like, it's very easy to look at and say like, well, it's just a bad game, and I wouldn't go that far. I think it's a very flawed game, but there's fun to be out with it. There's a lot of variety to it. You can interact with it, and the different things like this. And there's a lot of like Bubsy personality to it. But this was, from an American standpoint, a lot of game designs were very sprawling, a lot of multi-game systems, because like, why, if it's just a platformer or if it's just left to right, that's boring. We all done that. And rather than refining that, there was a lot of people that tried to like reinvent the wheel. So Bubsy isn't solely like to blame for something like that, or really it's a victim of that same kind of thinking that a lot of American developers had at the time. I don't think it does it as bad as some others did at that same exact time.
Go ahead, name names. Who did it worse?
I'm not gonna say it.
There are certainly worse.
I was going to
games.
say it reminds me of like Earthworm Jim.
Well,
second
so-
one.
Earthworm Jim 2.
Had-
Yes,
Yeah.
Earthworm Jim 2 was the first thing that came to mind. That game is effing trash. I hate Earthworm Jim. I
Thank you for
hate
this-
both
Thank
of
you for
them.
censoring.
So I've always looked at those games as like really, really flawed, not fun to play outside of having played them as a kid. And maybe I'm defaulted to the same kind of thing with these games, but they're pretty good. These are pretty good.
I just saw my favorite part of the collection.
Oh, yeah?
Bubsy 2 on Game Boy?
It goes by so fast if you're not noticing it. Can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Can you go down to quit to go back to the main menu?
I just gotta make a quick
And
though game.
go ahead and just push once. Just push start new game on Bubsy 2 for Game Boy. It asks, "Are you sure?"
Is this the only one that
It's
it
the
has
only
that
one in the collection that.
I didn't even notice that. Is that true?
This is such a Joe thing. I think it's funny. It's funny. But I'll tell you a story of a Joe idea that I think he knows exactly where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
So Joe and I, for 3 years, we worked on a game called Plumbers Don't Wear Ties to remake it, to remaster it. And one of the ideas that Mr. Modzeleski had was that we need screen sizes. There's screen sizes in Bubsy as well. And we had yes and half. And yes was full screen, and half rendered half the screen. And we sent that into Nintendo and into Lot Check and such. And I still to this day can never forget the response you got was like, this half doesn't work. It only shows half the screen, and you had to explain to Nintendo like, that's the joke. It's funny. And Nintendo came back. Was like, it's not funny, but okay. Like, if this is supposed to work like this, then go for it.
There was some back and forth to make that.
Yeah,
to get that
won.
approved.
David and Goliath, man. You won against the big boys, and now if you play Plumbers Don't Wear Ties, you can play it half screen.
Mm-hmm. But that's my favorite little bit that we snuck into this one was that one little. Are you sure?
This is fascinating.
And this is this part of the collection, like, because I think for every game there is a conversation to be had, and Sam and I talked about this in our interviews at PAX recently. That I think a lot of people will pick up this collection. I think a lot of people will buy it. It will be great.
You better. I'll be listening.
And I think there was a conversation to be had for most of those games that, like, internet discourse and kind of memification has done a number on the franchise, and when you actually go and play them, they are far from either as bad or as complicated as people have made it out to be. And when you play the Game Boy game, I think there is absolutely no question that this is the worst game on Game Boy. Like, this might be it.
Wow.
That's me saying it.
The worst.
I cannot find a single redeeming thing about this game. So it's my favorite.
Got that little spin on the blind animation. They got that in there.
There is
That's
some
positive.
There are some technical things kind of here and there on the title screens and such, but like, whew, I mean, this is
Yeah, I gotta get out of here. No, thank you.
yeah.
All right, now let's go to the Jaguar.
Jaguar.
This was fun though. I mean, so I think we can reveal this. So like when we started developing the game, this was an outlier.
Hey, that's
for
us.
Yeah, it's you.
Yeah, we didn't think we
Updated
were
a
going
little
to
bit.
get
We can't
this.
show that.
We didn't think
we
we were
weren't sure
going
if
to
we were
get
going to
this.
get this, right? So we started the collection. We had not really approached the subject with Atari yet. Like, can we include this? Not for any other reason that we were just kind of scoping out, and this hadn't really come up. I knew, obviously, as a fan, that I wanted this to be the most complete collection, the definitive collection forever. So obviously we need everything in there. So I wanted it in there, but we weren't sure. And then when we did broach the subject with you guys, you couldn't have been more supportive. I mean, it was immediate. That was just like, of course. And it turned into a really fun and easy task for us to like make sure that this could come in. Not so much from a technical standpoint, just because working with Jaguar is not always the easiest.
Yeah.
But in terms of implementation of just like making sure the game could be part of the collection, you guys made it very seamless and easy. So, and I think that goes, I think you agree, Joe, like working with Atari on this was really really good and fun.
Yeah, I wouldn't even stop at the Jaguar portion of this relationship,
No.
right? Like I just in general working with Atari, not to puff you guys up while we're on
No.
your podcast, but working with Atari has been
Joe, you're not even wearing a
fantastic.
pandering shirt,
I'm pandering to something,
right? Not to us.
Someone
not
is
to
being
you.
pandered.
But no, it was we
Pandering
had
to
a
fans.
fantastic time working on this. We really got to approach this, kind of however we saw fit. There was a lot of
Yeah.
creative freedom for how we wanted to put the package together. There was a lot of support for some of the crazier things that we did want to do. We didn't get to do everything that we wanted to do, but that really comes down to entirely other, like, different factors.
Yeah, just time.
But
time
there were some real out there things we wanted to do that Atari was extremely supportive of that we just weren't able to make happen.
yeah. I
But getting
there's the
Jaguar in there
trust,
was
right. The trust between the companies was really fun to see. And,
Yeah.
It's not always like that.
No.
You can talk about pandering, but like there are certainly times when you work with license holders and such where it's not a fault of it, and people are protective for good reasons. But here there was a lot of trust, and it made for a really good product.
I think it kind of speaks to the modern Atari, right? And I think you could see that in Atari 50. Like we were just joking about that before we started recording. You look at the interviews in Atari 50, right? And how very matter of fact those interviews are in stating what happened. Like, not afraid to talk about the drug use and all these other things. Like, no, you're telling a story. Let's be real. And I think one of the things that we do well at the modern Atari is that we don't, good, bad, you name it, like, we're not shying away from the history that's there. And guess what? If we're going to make a product around Bubsy, then we can't shy away from the history that's there. Otherwise, what are we doing? Like, everybody knows you're not going to put this out and pretend Bubsy is like some beloved thing. No, you have to approach it with some sort of understanding that there is this
There's a
aura
balance. There's a
around
balance act to this, right? It's like
No
we
doubt.
talked about earlier, where I think a lot of people look at the franchise and have an assumption based on discourse from the internet over the last 20 years. And you have to also recognize that. But then you have people like myself, and there are dozens of us, where we grew up with the character, and it meant a lot more than just simply it was a game that we played for like a month or two. This was a character that defined a lot of our personalities, and was very influential and very important, and continues to be so for me, and many other personal reasons, because I have a crazy story about it. But like in general, that's one thing where I've been talking to people in the Bubsy Discord and whatnot, just about what they want and expect from the collection and what it means to them, and it means a lot to them. So I do think having the balancing act of recognizing the franchise and the character from every facet is very important.
I think a key word that kind of sticks out for me is it's just being genuine, right? Like,
Yes,
it's
that's
not
right.
about trying to be a PR puff piece for this, right? And it's also not about being scathing to something. It's just being genuine and knowing when to swing at it and when to like stop and say like, hey, there's actually something kind of interesting here. Funny enough, the game that stands out to me the most with my history with Bubsy here, Bubsy 3D, a game I detest to extremes. I still actually find this game fascinating, more so now as an adult and as a a professional game designer and game developer. The game's fascinating, but it's still also maybe among the worst games on the PlayStation 1.
No, you're crazy.
I said among,
Thanks so
it's not
much.
the worst.
You're still crazy. Come on.
Well,
Jason, I would use the D-pad here. I'm assuming you are using that.
how did you know?
Very
How
much
did
yes.
you know?
This is a tank control game.
I like the idea of everything being on glass. That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're listening, the I've jumped into Bubsy 3D. We are here. We've
The
made it.
centerpiece of the
in
collection.
all of its
that's-
glory. I
but-
think
but
That's what's
this is
interesting, right? Like,
Yeah,
it
like,
could be terrible, but it is also a interesting. Interesting is a great word because it's an interesting part of gaming history. Like,
huge
the
part of gaming
story of
history.
when it was announced and how it was announced. Like, I
Yes.
often make a joke with a lot of Atari games, like old Atari 2600 games. It's like they were figuring it out. Like, games weren't a thing. They were
Yep.
figuring it out. Every game that exists then, like, a lot of them are going to be misses because guess what? They were just figuring it out. Like, what is a game? What is a
What is
game
a 3D
where you're-
platformer?
Yep.
And then, so this is one of those situations. What is a 3D platformer? And two people answered that question. One of them was Accolade, and the other was Nintendo.
Well, it's
Yeah, and which
funny
one do
'cause,
we
like,
remember?
this is
Yeah.
gonna come out. This is gonna come out meaner than I intended, but it's a
Say it.
genuine. It's a genuine answer. This period of time, it's three big ones that stand out to me. It's not just Nintendo. You've got Mario 64 interpreting how do you bring a platformer into a 3D environment? How do you design that? How does it control all those things? You have Crash Bandicoot that also answered that same question in a completely different way.
Yep.
To just as much success. And then you have Bubsy 3D coming in with the wrong answer to every possible question.
No.
And
It's
it makes
they have an interesting answer to every question.
Audi,
Yeah.
we're,
Like,
not,
how do
Audi
you-
we're not blaming
you can
you
interact
for
with-
answering these questions. Let's be clear.
I genuinely think like all the answers that they came up with are like interesting,
I
right?
think there's
like,
a lot-
there's no
Right.
how do you move the camera around?
Well,
Well,
you
yeah.
can't. So when you're jumping, obviously you point the camera down so you can see
And
where you're
that's
jumping.
really,
You know,
that's something you saw in the Jumping Flash as well. That's another big one that, like, was one of the launch games on PlayStation, a 3D platformer, and you had this like dynamic because now with the 3D camera, you can move that dynamically.
not there yet.
and-
We'll get there.
And then
Spoilers.
like, look at that. So, and I think that is
Oh,
a really neat and actually
maybe not.
clever way of solving spatial awareness in a 3D platformer of this era. I mean, obviously, Nintendo and whatnot figured it out better. But I do think that as you go through this game, artistically as well as gameplay-wise, there's a lot more to this game than, again, like the general internet discourse would ever lead you to believe. Because you would just think this is a terrible game that you can't even control it. You can't even
I'm
interact.
doing pretty well.
But
no,
Give me
this
credit.
isn't even close to the worst games in this franchise.
No,
I
we
actually
already saw
think
that.
this is probably the best and most interesting game in the franchise, despite my
Interesting.
my detesting it. It is. There are. Okay, listen. I gave 3 examples of games that tried to solve how do you take a platformer into 3D. Whatever way you want to interpret that, at the end of the day, there were 3 big examples that year, or within a year of each other. It was a few months of each other, if I remember correctly. One of those 3 is Bubsy 3D. For better or worse, it is one of the games that attempted to figure this out, and there is merit to that. There are certainly a lot of interesting choices they made to try and solve for this, and they did, again, to what degree of success. They did solve it. They shipped a 3D platformer that is technically playable. It's interesting. It's one of the only... Audi, you'll know this better than me, but to my knowledge, this is the only PlayStation 1 game that runs fully in high-res mode, right?
I believe there's a couple of others, but it is certainly very early, and that is one of the things on a technical level. It's high res. Also, the field of view is like oh my god, LOD. Like you can see very far into the distance. It is very like, again, we're talking about spatial.
Oh, the
awareness.
draw distance.
Draw distance, yeah.
Yeah.
And like, so, and that certainly for the time it came out, this was not the norm. Like, and throughout most of the system's library, that's not the norm. So like, yeah, on a technical level, the game has a ton of merit to it. It just doesn't control as well as you'd hope.
Yeah. How well? That's an interesting question, Audi. How well did you hope this would control?
Well, we probably have a different answer to that here with this collection because we have something else to talk about later.
Yeah, maybe we jump to that now.
Well, wait. Actually, while you're in here, can you show off one of the things that they did with the screen size? So if you set it to 16:9, and then resume the game here. Yeah, look at that.
Hey
now it's a modern game.
Carbon special right there. So that's something we saw also in Gex Trilogy, where it's a native widescreen.
So there's something really important about these too. That like these are not like uniform or like universal. These are not universal solutions. Our widescreen, our widescreen editions. These are very custom to each game. And you saw it in Gex Trilogy, where there are hacks out there already in the retro emulation community that solve for 16:9, but they don't solve kind of the culling issues and some of the draw distance issues. It's similar here with Bubsy, that we have a very bespoke solution to this that works really well.
And I mean, Bubsy 3D on an artistic level also scales up a lot better than a lot of the PlayStation library. So a ton of just obviously it's clean textures and like flat surfaces.
Flashing warning.
I'll get out of here.
But come on. I think that's another thing that's interesting to look at it now is that there's something really interesting from an artistic level going on with the game. Like
I agree with that.
Abstract
you notice
minimalism.
Like this game doesn't suffer from a very common PS1 visual thing, and that's the texture warping.
Texture warping.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like you said, it's high resolution. It is a game that ages aesthetically really strong, far stronger than it should. I don't get the impression that the game was intending to be forward thinking, but there is something kind of well aged and timeless about this insane visual experience. It is a cool game. I hate this game, but I am fascinated by it, and it is cool.
Throughout development, I mean, you being one of the bigger detractors based on your childhood trauma. I mean, you several times stated internally in dev that there's something like you said, there's something interesting about it. There's something to be experienced here.
Yeah.
And it is also not. It's not the worst game ever made.
It's not the worst game ever made. I do stand by. I think it is among the worst on the PS1. But
name the worst ones.
No, we can't go there.
Cosmic Race.
It's certainly an interesting game, and I think it's the highlight of the collection. This and the kind of pairing that we will be kind of showing in a minute. I think. Together,
let me
the two of them.
now.
Yeah, we should go to that.
All right, here we go. If I can do the cheats, right? Will I be able to?
What does that say? Refurbished edition. Ooh, what does that mean?
You don't need cheats in this one.
No, I was just wondering if I could unlock like the second level. Guess not. Okay, here we go.
You got to re-experience before. Now this is a modern game.
You got to re-experience the first level.
Right, I'm going to. It's going to be very interesting.
Something I want to point out when you're on the main menu for this one that I thought was a really funny touch. You went through the effort of not only detecting the controller and replacing the button prompts, but it has that the compression on the AMV there.
Let's
Joe
so
needs to tell you about that.
Yeah, let's not go forward past this screen. Actually, you want to talk about interesting things? Let's talk about a couple of interesting things about Bubsy 3D that we learned while developing this.
Oh no! I didn't press anything.
Oh well, then maybe you're gonna want to skip into it. But the first thing, and I'll be fast. The first interesting thing here is every level of Bubsy 3D is a unique executable. So
what?
So finding certain memory addresses for some of the things we did in this game, some of the achievements, we had to do them unique to each level because every level is a different executable. The other thing is this menu, and every menu in Bubsy 3D is part of a video. These are not graphics in the traditional sense. This screen as well. This is all a video. So we had to rip that video out, take the individual frames of the video, edit those individual frames, compile it like back into a video file, inject it back into the ISO, and that's why everything looks authentically like crushed and compressed, because it is. We fed it back into
Awesome.
the PS1 ISO.
Love it.
But as you navigate the menus, it basically just it skips to different frames of a video and then has sprites that go over top of it for the flashing to show what you're highlighting. Anyway, I found that really fascinating.
It sure is. And it was good work.
Oh, man.
Told you not to use the analog stick before, but you're going to want to use the analog stick here.
So look at this. Bubsy 3D, but what if you could move the camera around? What if Bubsy had 300?
What if you could move Bubsy around?
Analog control.
This is how you should play it.
Does this make the game better? But it makes it interesting.
It makes it even more interesting.
Yeah, makes it interesting.
You know what it does? It completely obliterates the sense of scale. Everything seems way smaller.
Right.
So it's a combination of things, right? So it's the change in perspective, it's the change in how you move Bubsy, but it's also we pulled the camera out a bit more in this version because of the new controls, and it does impact the sense of scale. It makes certain things easier, but it makes other things a little bit more challenging. We were careful to not call this like definitive or improved or whatever. Like this is presented in this package as an experiment, like a thought experiment. It's like what would this game have been like if they were able to do it in this way? We haven't dramatically altered the controls. It still plays and feels like Bubsy 3D, warts and all. But it is a neat, different way to look at this game that people have not had a chance to do before. And I think this is the highlight of the collection. This is the part that I'm real jazzed about. We worked really hard on this.
It's really cool.
I
would say there's even like he didn't like change any of like how, I mean, obviously how he moved, but like there's a momentum with his movement that I don't think really comes across with the normal controls. That is like you notice it a lot more here when he's like moving around like this, because
we didn't adjust that logic. So for better or worse, he still moves exactly as he did with the tank controls, just with free analog movement.
Right. No, it's not. It's still 8 directionals. It's still 8 directional. Or can I move? Yeah, like it's still only.
You're doing
analog.
those like subtle.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Okay, yeah, cool.
So this,
what it is? The momentum is so.
The momentum, yeah. When you're able to move him around in 3D, the momentum just it like feels different, even though it isn't.
There's certainly still kind of like some jankiness to this because the game's engine, its controller manager does not want to do what we're making it do. Yeah. It wasn't designed to do this. This represents a lot of reverse engineering work that
it's so hard. I would have set this up like a 2D platform.
But you talk about you talked about the way the camera will move down when you jump in traditional Bubsy 3D.
Yeah.
It doesn't do that in this version because we quickly found out once you have control of the camera, if it keeps doing that, it can be a little frustrating, and it can also kind of cause motion sickness in a way that didn't in the original version. So now you have to manually kind of look for where you want to jump, and that creates a different challenge. That's why I'm also careful to say this is not Bubsy 3D, quote unquote, the better or improved edition. It's a different take on what this could have been.
It's a fun way. It's a fun alternative way to experience the game.
What I think is really neat that when we started doing this is the first time you turn the camera to look at Bubsy's face, and you realize there's a ton of face animations that they put in the game, and you wonder why, because you could never see them before. The camera's always
when he's
on
like
his
running,
ass, you know?
if you make him run like into the camera, he has like a facial animation for that. But like, why?
Right.
You
Yeah.
would never see that.
Anyway, I am really excited for people to see this. I don't know at the time of this podcast going up if this will have been revealed yet, but if not, surprise, we did this insane thing.
I love it. It's so good. It's good stuff, guys. Cool. Any last things that you guys want to bring up about this game before I subject you to silly trivia?
I think Audie's going to have a long answer, so I'll go first. Despite everything I've said in this podcast, this was a real treat to work on. I had some emotional highs and emotional lows with Bubsy back in my life, but this was a treat, and I think even for titles that I may not be the most in love with, this is something I wanted to work really hard to make something special. I think we were able to do something really special here, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to work on it.
Yeah, my answer won't be that much longer than that. I mean, when I was hired by Limited Run, I felt like this was the natural place to go after quite literally Bubsy saved my life, and that is a true thing. It was a franchise and a character that gave me a lot of hope and faith back into myself when I didn't have it. So it's very surreal to officially have worked on the definitive collection for a character that has definitively made my life better. And I'm very happy that I got to do that with Limited Run, and I'm very happy that we got to work with Atari to do it, because they've absolutely proven that the franchise is in great hands for the future.
Awesome. Well said. I'm going to stop the gameplay there. I mean, that would be a great place to end the podcast, but I'm not very good at reading the room. So we're going to keep going with some other nonsense that I had planned. So, fellas, here we go. I've prepared a couple of games for us to play here, and there's no stakes, unless you want them, but no, there's no stakes here. So first of all, we got a warm-up game. And the purpose of this warm-up game is to determine who's going to go first in our main game. Okay? So, basically, I have your page up here on Moby Games. All right? And I have
You're going to find some smut, aren't you?
There's some weirdness in here, but that's okay. I don't have to worry about that. That's fine. It's okay. And in it, I have all of your games. Nobody, don't go to the page.
I'm not going. No,
no cheating.
It's very far from complete, though. Moby Games, I think.
All right,
my Moby Games is also not even remotely close to complete. But
I don't really. I never go there to add my own stuff necessarily. So.
All right. Well, I have 14 games listed here. Okay. And they are listed by MobyScore. Okay? So, I am going to ask each of you, what is the highest rated game in Audi's credits by MobyScore? And whoever has the highest one, and then that will determine the order of who goes first. And I'll just go left to right by who's on my screen now for this zero stakes game. Okay? Audi, you are first because you.
So I guess on my own.
Yes, on your own.
Oh man, highest score, huh?
Don't take my guess.
Yeah, don't take his guess.
Okay, can I ask is Nekopara on that list?
I'm not going to answer any questions. You just have to pick a. I'm not going to answer that question.
Man, I don't even know what's on Moby Games though. But I'm gonna guess. Okay, the Rendering Ranger.
Okay. Joe, what is? Oh, sorry, Sam, you're next. What is your guess?
Now, this is anything he's listed on, or
anything he's credited with.
I'm gonna say Arzette.
Okay. And Joe, what is your guess?
It was actually the same guess. It was Arzette. But I'll swing a different one that I know is wrong, but I'll swing it anyways. Like, what about like maybe Rabby Ribby? You worked on that, didn't you?
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, I'll say Rabby Ribby.
Okay. That is not here.
Damn.
So
I'll have to go add my own
Nobody
credit.
knows Audi like me.
all right. So Audi, you will go. So Joe, you will go third because you got 0.
Oh my god.
Audi, you will go second because Rendering Ranger. That's what you said, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to give me a full title on that?
Rendering Rancher R2.
It's not pronounced R squared.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Anyway, I'll take it. That gets a 7.6, so you'll get to go second. And then Sam guessed Arzette. That has a 7.7. Now that is not the highest rated on Moby Games here. Actually, your top rated is Heart of the Woods, where you are listed as the executive producer for PS4. That's got a 7.9.
Sure, okay. So my guess for Rendering Rancher was just that like that's a retro game that's been around for a long time, so that probably had more scores on it.
It's possible.
So yeah, okay. All right.
Now, to get to the real game, the really silly game here. Every so often, I've called this game, just workshop and naming these games. I'm calling this game List of the North Star. Now, that's not a game, but there's a lot of Fist of the North Star games, so I thought that's a fun pun to lean into. We're talking Bubsy, we got puns.
Shouldn't it be List of the Big Dipper?
Nope. So I found a list from CBR.com. This was made on November 30th, 2024. And the list is the 10 best retro third-party mascot platformers. Okay? We're going to go 3 rounds. There are 10 titles on this list. Okay? I need full titles. All right? And we'll take turns guessing. You will get 10 points for number 1, 9 points for number 2, etc., etc. If it's not on the list, you don't get any points. The person with the most points at the end is the winner. Okay. Is that all clear?
Can you repeat what the list is? Because this could be a wide range if it was done in 2024, you said?
2024. So I will read their little blurb as well.
Okay.
So we're all on the same page and everybody's cool. The 10 Best Retro Third-Party Mascot Platformers by Marley Hughes, published November 30th, 2024 on CBR.com. Here's what Marley writes. Mascot platforming games are platformers that feature a distinctively stylized, often humorous animal protagonist. These protagonists typically embark on quests to rescue someone, like a princess or a relative, from the game's antagonist, who is often a king or mad scientist. The levels in these games are usually as stylized as the characters themselves. These platformers were especially popular during the 1980s and 1990s, with many titles aiming to replicate the success of Mario and Sonic the Hedgehog franchises. These retro games had varying levels of success, but many of them are still worth playing. Okay?
So it does not give us an idea of range of dates here.
Well,
it's
80s
just
to
retro.
90s, right?
Yeah, but
80s
that can
and
pass all the
90s.
way up to
that's true.
PS1. It can hit
Yeah.
PS2, Dreamcast. PS2 now, but
Can you just try to have fun?
I will give one hint and say that none of these that every one of the games in this list is from the 90s. Okay. Just to kind of narrow the range and give you guys a chance to get some points.
I don't know if you can answer this. Are Mario and Sonic in this list?
He said
third party. Right?
Are they third party?
Oh, okay. Only third party. So
party.
not Nintendo, Xbox, PlayStation.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Sam, as you won that first game,
Okay.
by obviously picking the easiest answer anybody could have chose, you get to go first. So what is your first guess?
So I was thinking Crash, but I'm going to not say that, and instead I'm going to throw out Hero the Acrobat, just to see the vibe of what this list is.
Mm-hmm.
that's a great start. So as that is actually number 5 on the list. So that is worth
yeah.
This okay, so this list is bullshit, is what we're dealing with.
No, this is the best list ever.
You don't know what the rest of it. I can tell you this list is kind of nutty. But
is that a hint
there are
for, like,
there are
value?
plenty of moments of redemption. I will say this: I kind of approve of this list.
So
an
Aero the
extent.
Acrobat being at number 5 is the vibe of
That's
of this
wild.
list.
But you don't know what's above or below that.
Middle
so,
of the road.
Audi,
I guess he's the middle of the road answer for this list.
Audi, I'm so excited because we have a chance for the first time ever for every person to answer with something that is actually on this list. I'm feeling confident, you guys. If
I
nothing
can't
else,
wait to disappoint you.
Well, I want to say stuff that should be on the list. Okay.
All right, so Audi, go for it.
Okay.
What do you got?
Brian the Lion.
What is that?
So,
well, first of all, no. Second of all, what is that?
That's a great mascot platformer. Is that not on the list?
No, it's not even
that list then.
Oh, is that a death bomb? Do you just drop a
Yeah.
timestamp it?
All right, I'm going to timestamp that little one here. All right, fair enough. Thanks for. Was it worth it? I don't know. All right, fair enough.
Should play. That's the next collection we're putting out.
Okay.
Has
fair
only
enough.
one game.
What is it?
It's an Amiga platformer.
Okay. All right, fair enough. Joe?
I have not heard of that one.
I have a question before I give my first answer here.
Okay.
Does this list just have franchises, or is it specifying sequels? If it's is there sequels on this list or just IP? Because that impacts my answer.
He said he wasn't answering questions.
Oh,
that's one.
Should I just go for it?
These are all specific titles.
They're all specific titles.
They're
the names of
specific.
games.
Right, I'm gonna give.
The character.
I will say this. I will give this one note. There are no duplicates from franchises.
Okay. All right. So
Okay.
I'm going to take a guess here. This is
So, Audi, what was your guess again?
Brian the Lion.
Yeah. So the sequel to that's not on this.
Okay.
list.
So Brian the Lion, Rise of the Lycans is not on this.
Out completely.
I'm gonna say Spyro the Dragon 2. What was that called? Ripto's
Rage.
Revenge.
Yeah, that's not on this list.
That's not on this list.
No.
See, I don't think Crash and
third
Spyro are
party.
going to be on here.
Make another timestamp here.
I think that's considered PlayStation.
That's not first party, is it?
No.
At the time?
It's
I don't
not,
think
it's
it
not
was.
first party. No.
Not even?
No, it's not
The
first
second party, I guess. But
Yeah. Well, at the time it was exclusive to.
I guess I'm thinking,
it was exclusive, but it was not. I don't recall that being made by.
I wouldn't call that first party, but regardless, it's not on the list. I mean, I'm not.
Okay,
I'm not
let's move on so we can see how much more bullshit that list is.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Recap first round. Sam is number 1 with 6 points. Audie and Joe, they're here. All right, Sam, your second guess.
All right, we mentioned him earlier, Earthworm Jim.
Earthworm Jim is not on the list.
God.
Okay.
So some redemption for Audie there. All right, Audie, your second guess.
Quick the Thunder Rabbit.
All right, tell me about that game. What's that?
It's an Amiga platformer.
I've taken some big swings on this podcast with some assumptions. That assumption that I thought
there's a strategy.
You guys were going to name everything on this list.
It should be on the list.
Audie's
Could
going
have
for
been
golf
more
score.
off base. That's not here. I don't know what that is. I'm going to make a guess for your third guess that Marley does not know what Amiga games are. Okay, Joe.
Gex 2, Enter the Gecko, or Gex 64. It went by 2 different names.
No. Neither of those are on
What
this.
the hell?
Well, okay, is okay. Can he like? I'm gonna help Joe here. Is Gex of any kind on the list?
I'm not going to answer that question.
Oh, come on.
It would be Gex 2.
That's too specific. I'm not going to answer that question.
It would be
All
Gex
right,
2.
we're
All right,
back
Audie.
around.
Audie,
Guys,
you guess Gex 3.
I got another one.
Sam, here's the
Oh,
thing.
wait.
This is the situation we're in, Sam. If you guess anything, basically, if you guess the number 6 or higher, the best these guys can do is tie. Sorry, I lied. If you guess 7 or higher, the best you can do is tie. So Sam, what do you got?
So I got Glover. Let's
No.
go Glover.
Don't
This
you
is
be
so-
telling me
Glover
Glover
on
is
this.
on this list?
So exciting because
Put
Glover
Glover
is
on there.
not on this
No,
list.
come on. Arrow the Acrobat is on there, but not Glover.
I'm all
All
thrown
right.
off by Arrow the Acrobat being the first correct answer and also the
Yeah.
middle of the list.
The first and only answer.
And
All
Gex 2 isn't on it.
Yeah, and I've read exactly the parameters as is. Audi, you have a chance to take the lead here. Give me one of these top 4, and I'm just going to say not an Amiga game.
Not Amiga.
Not Amiga.
Okay.
Stop. Get your head out of the Amiga gutter.
All right. What about Flimbo?
You just made a.
No, it's Flimbo. Flimbo. It's Flimbo's Quest on the Commodore 64. It's a very good game.
All right, I'm going to have to ask you 2 questions. 1, how do you spell that? 2, what is it?
It's a mascot platform on the Commodore 64. It's very good.
Okay, so
It's
you
a
Audi,
Yeah,
if you're not going to take this seriously,
Flimbo's
So,
I am
all right,
taking
so
it
to be clear,
seriously.
when I said that I don't think Marley had an Amiga, your thought was, well, obviously Marley has a Commodore
They're probably
64.
older. They probably had a Commodore 64.
Okay, that's not on this
But
list.
that's
Joe,
okay. We can
final
go back
guess
to like the T88 on my next
for
one.
the win, Joe.
I have 2 guesses, but I don't know what they consider to be first party or not.
I don't know what.
Man, I don't know. Awesome Possum kicks Dr. Machino's butt. A terrible
Jesus,
game, but is it on this
That's
list?
on the list.
No, I don't know what
I
that
know
is
what that
either.
one
What?
is.
Well, that's not Mega
That one
Drive
is-
game.
That one is real.
Okay,
It is
awesome.
real.
Okay, what was the second? What was the second thought you had?
Croc, Legend of the Gobos.
That's
Yeah,
gotta
all
be
right.
on
So
there.
that's number 6 on the list. But because it was your second guess, you get no points. But
Damn.
you will get an honorable mention. All right, guys. That was fascinating. Sam won with 6 points
Thank
for
you,
saying
Arrow the Acrobat.
and then you guys are both
Arrow,
tied
Arrow?
for last. How's that
Fantastic.
feel?
I think Audi is more last than me.
Are
Just
other
the-
games
I
other
wouldn't-
games in
I
the Arrow
wouldn't-
franchise on that list, like Zero, the
I wouldn't-
kamikaze squirrel?
All right, I'm just
Is
going to
Banjo-Kazooie on that
no.
list?
Oh,
Wait,
Banjo Kazooie.
Say that again. Say that
Is
again. Joe?
Banjo Kazooie on that list?
No. Okay, so these are all 2D platformers. By
What?
the way. They didn't clarify that.
Go from bottom to top.
Of
Yeah.
course, that's what I'm going
No,
to
but Croc
do.
is
Number-
a 3D game.
Yeah, that's so.
Except for
I
Croc?
was guessing 3D games because
Oh, I guess
90s,
I guess
but-
Croc is Legend of Gobos. All right, here we go. Number 10, Zool, Ninja of the Nth Dimension.
That's an Amiga game.
10.
All right, well there you go. Sorry about that.
Number
Number
9. For a
9.
guess.
Number 9, Bubsy in was it?
no.
No one said Bubsy.
Bubsy in Claw's Encounter of the Furred Kind is
We have to
number
cancel
9.
this podcast.
That's
No one said
why
Bubsy.
Uh-huh.
this list is here. You're like, oh, well, clearly this is an irrelevant quiz. No. I always bring it back. Number 8, James Pond, Underwater
I was
Agent.
gonna say James Pond, but I'm like,
Another
that's too.
Amiga game.
that's
Yeah, I was
too
going to say
stupid.
James Pond is also an Amiga game.
I would say
Maybe
he's
I
not
was
on
too
this
harsh
list.
on Audi.
Maybe I was too. I apologize for that.
Don't
If I-
apologize.
You would have
I
gotten
was-
a James Pond eventually, probably, right?
Probably.
It was also, I mean, I was thinking about James Pond as like a Genesis game. That's why.
I always think of it as like wasn't it on Super Nintendo too?
That's
I just
not
think of
listed.
it as
Yeah.
a bad
It's on
game.
everything, basically.
All right, number 7, Battletoads.
That's
Tough.
not even a platformer.
It's not a
not a
platformer.
platformer.
I agree. Number 6,
You jump.
Croc Legend of Gobos.
Okay.
Number
Yeah.
5, Arrow the Acrobat. Number 4, Jazz Jackrabbit.
Okay, that's a, okay. Cool.
Number
Joe.
3, and this is where it gets my respect. Cool Spot.
Cool
No,
spot.
that game
Come.
sucks.
Okay.
All right.
I can't wait to see what
Hold
the
on.
next few are.
Number 2, Gex. Just straight up.
Just
Just
straight up
Gex.
Gex.
Number 2? Okay.
OG
No.
Gex.
Original
Number
Gex.
Gex 2.
Number
Come on.
3. No, I mean, sorry, number 1. This is what I was
Number
saying.
1 to mascot.
Number 1.
platformer.
You're going to be like, oh, of course. Rayman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't argue with
that makes
Rayman, Audi.
Yeah, but
Go
here's,
ahead,
but here's
try.
but here's the problem. Rayman 2 also came out in the 90s and is better.
Okay.
Yeah. That's also true.
That's
That's
a
what it
this is
says.
this
Some
list is
fighting words.
wacky.
But okay.
Yeah.
They're pretty good.
This
both
this
of them
list is
pretty good.
wacky.
So that's the list. There you go. Sam, congratulations. Big winner.
Thank you.
How does it feel?
I am glad I played Arrow the Acrobat on my Game Boy Advance as a kid.
Do you want to thank anybody for this victory of yours?
I'd like to thank Sunsoft for making Arrow the Acrobat.
Wow. Love it. All right. Let's wrap this up, fellas. Sam, as the winner, you get to tell people where to find you on
Me,
social media.
I'm a smug, smug Porky on every social media. You can find me anywhere. I mostly post on Blue Sky.
All right. Joe, you're second place because you've used the least profanity on this podcast.
What a shocker! That's a big victory for me
compared to you and Audi. So therefore, I will give you second place. Is there any? Are you on the social medias? Do you want people to find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Blue Sky, Twitter, whatever. I'm not as active as I used to be, but you can find me at Super NES Joe.
Nice. That's easy enough to remember. You'll see all these links down in the description as well. Audi, how about yourself?
Yeah, on most socials, you can find me under PC98_Audi. And it should be pretty universal across the board.
All right. Cool. Well, thanks a lot for joining me, guys. The game is, the game's awesome. I mean, it's just, even if the games are flawed, the preservation effort and the love and care and everything that makes up the package of the Purrfect Collection is truly outstanding work. So thanks a lot for the hard work, excellent work, and everybody be sure to check that out. Wishlist it on Steam or your platform of choice. Once those pages go live, be on the lookout for the pre-orders in the near future, let's say. And yeah, stay tuned for this podcast. We got some cool stuff coming. So thanks again, fellas, and we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah.